Amnesty. Let's talk more about that now as we're joined in studio by Dr. Ben Carson, who is the author of the book One Nation, What We Can All Do to Save America's Future. He's also co-founder and president of the Carson Scholars Fund, and he's chairman of the Save Our Healthcare Project. Dr. Ben Carson, so good to have you here on the anchor desk this morning.
It's good to be back with you.
Before we get to what the Republican reaction might be uniformly, what's your reaction to what the president had to say last night?
Well, my reaction is I don't think it takes into consideration the welfare of American citizens. Whenever you get on an airplane and they have the announcement section and they say, if there's an emergency, oxygen mask will drop down, put yours on first and then administer help to your neighbor. We have millions and millions of people in this country, in our inner cities, Appalachia, rural areas, who are suffering enormously economically. And why don't we spend some time figuring out what we can do for them? If we place nearly as much emphasis on them, I think we might be able to then reach a point where we can administer aid to other people. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. And to say that, well, only the people who've been here for 5 years or more are going to benefit from this, that's craziness. Anybody you pick up on the street is going to say, oh, yeah, I've been here for 5 years, I've been here 6 years, I've been here 10 years. What are you going to do? I mean, so basically you're extending amnesty to everybody. And then he says, well, they're not going to be eligible for health care benefits and some of the other benefits. Give me a break. They're going to be eligible for all the benefits if they're here. And we're already approaching $18 trillion in national debt. We're just going to keep ballooning it. And there are those who have said the way to destroy a prosperous nation is through debt. Sometimes it makes you wonder.
Well, we take a look at what the president offers, and to hear your reaction to it, it sounds like it's flawed with fraud, because there's just no real way to offer a check. Some others have been reacting, Doctor. For example, Senator Ted Cruz reacted very strongly. He posted a response on Facebook, a video response, so let's take a look and listen.
Okay.
Tonight, just a few minutes ago, the President of the United States went on national television and announced that he is defying the Constitution. He is defying federal law, and he's defying the American people.
Simply stated, Dr. Carson, is this a constitutional crisis?
I think it probably is, but the real question is, will other senators and congressmen have the same kind of backbone as Ted Cruz? Will people stand up, or will they allow the president to steamroll them? I am very hopeful that they will stand up to him. And I hope they put in front of them a whole list of things that can be defunded, and then look specifically at the ones that are going to hurt him and those around him. Defund those things. I don't want things that are going to hurt the American people, but you remember during the sequester, that's exactly what he did. He looked at the list and he says, what will inflict the most pain on the American people so that they'll say, no, we can't have any decrease in funding. So we can do the same thing to him.
Now, Dr. Carson, sounds like you don't fear the notion of a shutdown, because a whole lot of Washington Republicans, they hear the word shutdown, they say they're going to be blamed. 30 seconds, your take on a shutdown.
Well, it's not an all or none phenomenon. You don't have to shut down the important parts of the government. You just defund the things that are important to the president.
Well said. Well, obviously, there is a lot to talk about with this decision and other matters. Dr. Ben Carson, we'd ask you to stay with us, and we'd like to get your thoughts on what the good doctor had to say. Why don't you tweet us at Newsmax TV, hashtag America's Forum. There's also newsmaxtv.com/comment. And don't forget Facebook. You can reach out to us, facebook.com/Newsmax. Our faces are coming back as we continue the conversation with Dr. Ben Carson right after this.